We're making a roguelike horde shooter game by combining elements from games like Call of Duty Zombies, The Binding of Isaac, and Elden Ring. This is Rotten. I'm Matthew from the Rotten team, and first and foremost, I'd just like to thank everybody for their support on our last video. If you missed it, click the card on the top right. But for those who just need a refresher, Rotten is our take on the classic Call of Duty Zombies formula, where you and up to 3 friends have to fight off endless waves of the undead. We're injecting roguelike elements into the gameplay to spice things up, such as our weapon modifier system. Weapon modifiers, or mods for short, are game-changing upgrades that allow you to drastically alter the way your weapon functions, from gunning out electrifying arcs to converting your shotgun into a long-range clustering bomber. Since the last devlog, we've also created a plethora of new modifiers. Here's just a few of the more interesting ones we've added. Shatter shells. Bullets will travel a short distance before splitting into 4 smaller pieces, each delivering 50% of your base damage. This modifier drastically reduces your range and penetration, forcing you to play at a fixed distance for a lot of extra damage. BB gun. This modifier drastically increases your fire rate and ammo in your mag and reserve. It also converts your gun into an automatic, but at a critical cost of no headshots and reduced damage. This mod can turn the slowest sniper rifle into a high-powered LMG. Bullet Happy. Bullet Happy doubles the bullets you fire with a slight decrease to your damage and increase to weapon spread. For assault rifles and pistols, this will allow you to fire 2 bullets at a time. But for shotguns, expect a whole lot more pellets than usual. Let us know which of these new mods is your favorite in the comments below. And now, onto the main topic of this video, movement. When it comes to the movement side of things, we've taken a lot of inspiration from movement shooters. Games like Black Ops 3 or even Doom have fluid, high mobility gameplay where you're able to move at fast speeds to keep and maintain your momentum. That's the big word here, momentum. We want players to have movement capabilities that utilize your speed. This means more than just having players run around at a constant pace. We want to give them alternate forms of movement. It's important to clarify that we do not want Rotten to be a full-on movement shooter with wall running or double jumps, but rather, we want this game to have an expanded movement system that feels really good to control. With that in mind, Rotten will feature sliding, something that many of you will find familiar from COD Zombies and other popular titles. Sliding in Rotten propels you forward with a sudden burst, but it also locks your path, forcing you to commit to your momentum. You can still turn a little bit, but not as much. To initiate a slide, you'll need a running start, so don't expect to slide out of every scenario. One key difference with the system from COD Zombies is that you can build up more speed if you are going down a slope, similar to games like Apex Legends or Fortnite. On flat surfaces, you might slide for a second or two, but your speed will quickly drop off. However, if you're sliding down a hill, you will start picking up speed. And this doesn't just apply to hills, you can do this on slopes, ramps, stairs, you name it. Having slopes guide you while limiting your turns is an important aspect of this. While it can enable you to focus more on combat, if you aren't watching where you're going, you might slide straight into a horde of zombies. Yikes! Look both ways before sliding, folks. We want sliding to be a good way to both distance yourself from the undead and also traverse the map. Without getting into our level design philosophy too much, there's going to be some key areas that are built for sliding. Places like short stairs allow you to gain some extra speed, allowing you to avoid the undead in critical scenarios. If you get good with this mechanic, you can find that it's faster than sprinting in some areas, which rewards you for your map knowledge. And that's sliding in Rotten. We think this feature is a good fit for our game, providing a good amount of strategic depth without being too strong in every scenario. But beyond sliding, there's another movement mechanic we'd like to add. Picture this. You're running away from a horde of zombies, and you find yourself caught in an alleyway at a dead end. Empty mag, not enough time to reload, and certainly not enough room to start a slide. What's an ability we could add to give you an extra opportunity to escape? That ability is dodging, another big feature that we're adding to Rotten. Dodging gives you a quick dash in any direction, while making you temporarily invulnerable to most attacks. It locks your movement for a bit, so you have to be careful where you dodge. Unlike sliding, you can initiate a dodge whenever you want, which lasts for a quick moment. Our current version of the dodge is very similar to games like Atomic Heart or Dying Light, where you also have to dodge swarming hordes of enemies. With these two new mechanics, you may notice sliding and dodging seem somewhat similar. So why have we decided to add dodging in the first place? We believe dodging can add a whole new layer of depth to gameplay, especially when it comes to enemy design. One major inspiration for this idea came from Souls-like games. Souls-like games, like Elden Ring or Dark Souls, pit players against monstrous enemies with tight gameplay centered around perfectly timed dodges. This simple act of dodging unlocks the potential for more complex enemy design, letting bosses unleash devastating combos, massive spinning attacks, and unpredictable patterns. The result? Encounters that feel intense, punishing, and deeply satisfying when you finally master them. For Rotten, we wanted to capture that aspect from Souls-likes, and dodging is a key mechanic that allows for all of this. For example, we can have a big tanky boy who would like to grab and crush you at the earliest convenience. With dodging, this scenario becomes more interesting as you will have more options at your disposal. You can try to keep your distance and run around him, or perform a risky dodge to glide past. Remember, timing is everything, and if you miss your window, you're toast. Dodging also opens the door to more varied enemy designs, with multiple hit combos that require back-to-back dodging, which rewards precision and enemy knowledge. Dodging also allows us to avoid common zombie stereotypes that we've all seen before. The fast but weak zombie, the slow but tanky zombie, things like that. Another common enemy you see in zombie games are projectile enemies, ones who'd like to spit or throw something at you from across the map. In many of these games, you can't really dodge these types of attacks. Your only option is to keep moving so that the projectile doesn't hit you, or get behind some sort of wall. With dodging, it spices up these encounters a lot more. Now you have a third option. With a perfectly timed dodge, you can avoid the damage without compromising your position. In COD Zombies, for example, there's a special enemy called the Mangler, who uses a ranged airburst blast attack. Up close, he's not too hard to avoid, but at range, his blast can feel frustrating, sometimes hitting you even when it feels like you're far enough away. We believe dodging offers a clear way to avoid attacks like these, instead of leaving it up to chance. We want every special enemy we design to telegraph their attacks clearly and consistently, so big enemies will have a big windup, and play the appropriate audio cues. Lastly, we think dodging can make final boss fights a lot more engaging. In games without a dedicated dodge mechanic, the challenge usually comes from controlling the player's positioning, like laying down walls of fire or scattering mines everywhere. Specifically in COD Zombies, sometimes the boss itself isn't the real threat. It's the zombies and special enemies that swarm you. We're not saying these designs are bad. Far from it. That said, we believe dodging opens the door to even more dynamic one-on-one encounters. Maybe not on the scale of Elden Ring bosses, but something similar with multi-hit combos, massive arena-wide slams, and waves of projectiles scattering the battlefield. For the next devlog, we'll try to cook up some example enemies that can showcase what we want for a dodging system. Regardless, sliding and dodging allows the gameplay to be a lot more dynamic, affecting the way we design levels and enemies. For this section, we'll go over some of the other stuff we've made since our last devlog. For starters, you've probably seen our good friend Tam, the Tactical Analysis Man. Our character 3D modeler has been hard at work modeling, rigging, and getting this guy to look just right. You'll probably be seeing more of him in future devlogs with more detail over time, as we're still learning to 3D model human anatomy. If you have any questions for Tam, let us know. We've also been developing our first-person view model with the help of our technical director, which you've been seeing in all our gameplay so far. It's nothing too fancy right now, as we're figuring out the best approach for it, so see this as our current prototype. It has dynamic weapon swaying and a temporary weapon holding and firing animation, which looks pretty good so far. We're creating the arms and rig in Blender, and we plan on doing all of our animations in Engine in Unity. Our environmental 3D modelers and character concept artists have cooked up a lot of work for y'all to look at. These should give you a better feel for the environment and art style of Rotten. We're taking inspirations from games like Team Fortress 2 and the Impressionism art style. We're still figuring out that process, so we'll have more to show in the future devlogs. Our tools programmer has also cooked up a lot of good stuff for us behind the scenes. For those who don't know, tools programmers don't really code systems or gameplay logic for the game, but rather make tools to help level designers, like myself. Lately, he's made tools to help us place areas easier, which is used to calculate where zombies spawn. Certain zombie spawns get enabled or disabled based on your current area location. He's also made it way easier for us to set up zombie jump spots. Before, we had to manually fine-tune each jump to get the trajectory just right. But now, it's much simpler thanks to his work. If you guys are interested in hearing more from the rest of the team, let us know, and we'll be sure to include them in the next devlog. And on that note, that's it for the video. If you guys enjoyed it, leave a like and comment any suggestions or questions you have below. Most of our viewers aren't subscribed, so if you haven't already, mosey on down on that subscribe button. But for now, folks, thank you for watching, and have a rotten day.